Persia had his ultimate already, and that was enough for a kill onto BQB. I'm not so sure that Boston can retake, maybe. Yeah, looking like they can now. So it doesn't look like the Florida Mayhem are going to hold on to this one for too long.
Yeah, but they are going to get the free percent, basically, for muscling them off the point.
Supercharger down.
Yeah, watch out for the defense matrix here, because that blizzard from Mayhem could be huge.
Could be. Kelix, oh, taken out by Gargoyles, self-destruct. Kelix, wrong place, wrong time. Chris gets a knock-up onto Persia as well, and Florida Mayhem comes steamrolling back on the point, and should be a pretty easy retake.
I mean, that was just fantastic value from this self-destruct. We talked about how much Gargoyle's been an upgrade for this roster. Well, they're going to initiate with that self-destruct and then hold on to their Blizzard.
Blizzard does come down from Stellar, and they've got the Lucio ultimate to contest. His BQB taken out, and that does not look, oh, he faded away. Rough moment there for Hagopin, but he actually got out. Doesn't matter, though, as Boston Uprising gonna retake with ease.
Yeah, BQB held onto that Blizzard for such a long time that Stellar was able to go ahead and build another one. So Boston Uprising striking first with ultimates in a lot of these engagements and lapping their peers, but they're still behind when it comes to that control percent.
Fusion's forced out despite the coalescence coming in from Persia, and Florida Mayhem still standing strong for the moment here. They've got their own coalescence a little bit later, in fact, which is great. Blizzard keeping everybody off there again. Death Blossom from Saya player. Boston can't contest, and that is Florida Mayhem taking the first point here on Ilios. You don't really have a way to pick her out of the air unless BQB hits a good right click, right?
No, because the staggers keep happening, I mean, look how Florida's playing this. Now, the point was just taken, so Florida did delay the first capture a pretty significant amount of time, and now they're going to reset. Fusion trying to stay alive. That's not going to happen with the supercharger there. They're not going to be able to contest. It's going to try and pulse bomb. Goes right on the barrier, though, so doesn't kill the Orisa.
I feel like Boston, even with the kill inside players, just delaying the inevitable. There's a coalescence coming in. BQB dropping down. And more kills onto Boston. I don't think the Ana's going to be able to contest too much.
Another
Nano boost onto Diva. That's going to make it a lot more durable. This is one of the longest holds I think we've, or contests we've seen. This season is getting kind of crazy from Boston. Shield from Risa goes down just in time. There goes Blase. Doesn't get back in the mech. And it's ticking away. There goes Kelix. And let it never be said that Florida Mayhem can be beaten 10 times in a row on Ilios.
That's true. Oh, no.
Let no one say Florida Mayhem was beaten 10 times in Ilios. Only 9. Boston kind of approaches point here. Stellar picks up the right click onto Chris. There's the headshot they were looking for. Fusion's a little bit low, and that May wall separating a little bit of the healing, but there goes Hagopin and Saya player Color Hex. He got mad. He got real mad. He's gonna come in and get a 3K, and that's a quick point A for Boston.
And Boston's look good on assault maps, because these are the kind of maps that lend themselves best to set plays. Very good wall to get presence on the point.
And Persia creating a little bit of space, and now Blase and Color Hex getting kills again. Color Hex just seems unstoppable here on Hanamura, and they're gonna keep him alive. Nice heals from Persia. Great start with the coalescence, and just walking up and healing, and that May is dealt with. Blizzard comes in from Boston as well. BQB died right as he used his. Wasn't able to really follow up. Here comes the ultimate, and Boston Uprising with an insanely fast take on Hanamura.
That was superb execution from Boston.
Yeah.
Even the little things there, so the wall off to the point gets the Orisa undamaged onto the point. Orisa barrier drops. They know they have the coalescence.
They're getting closer. Color Hex over on the Hanzo now. Oh, nice shot into Hagopin. Gets pulled down, but not before he gets that headshot. Chase away, can't quite make it to the big health pack. And now Florida Mayhem slamming onto the point right now. Kelix's immortality field out of the way as well. Saya player, the Reaper, picking up the kills, finally gets frozen, but there's no one to follow up on the damage, and he Wraith forms the safety. Florida Mayhem taking point A just as fast, if not faster than Boston did it. Blizzard comes in, but nobody is in it. Florida Mayhem not trapping anyone, and that ultimate from BQB. Immortality field down on the Boston side, and so is the person who spawned at Kelix taken out as well. Now the sound barrier for Florida Mayhem as they push forward, trying to get a better time than Boston had, and they are close. Hanzo ultimate comes through, and it doesn't look like Boston has any kind of defense at all on this point.
No, they're not.
What a slam.
They got to clean out the immortality field, but Florida Mayhem somehow might end up with a better time, and they will, just barely.
They may. We'll see how long the contest comes in. Not long enough. And by seconds, Florida Mayhem actually takes it faster. It's a slow start. Here we go. Going in now with Persia's Coalescence on that Moira. Dragon Strike coming through here to do the amplification matrix. Kelix drops immediately. And there goes Fusion. Stellar responds with a kill via the Blizzard, but Blase gonna get demeched right away. Colorhex still gets one onto Gargoyle, but Sayaplayer up high gets one onto Colorhex. He can't teleport to safety, and it looks like Florida's gonna hold for just a bit longer. It's gonna be the whole hog, though, coming in from Gargoyle, keeping Boston at bay. Meanwhile, there's the Death Blossom. Chris, first of all, Sayaplayer responds. Colorhex, though, trying to get all the damage he can. Had to deal with the Transcendence from Hagopan, but it's run out now, but Sayaplayer right there with the Dragon Strike. The Hanzo doing the damage. Bait down, but Florida's still slightly ahead, but you gotta think about the respawns. They're gonna be a little bit better for Boston. They're still contesting, but if they lose fusions, then that might be the end of this push, and they do. Sayaplayer taking him out. But Storm Arrows, Sayaplayer looking for the kill. Fusion's down, that's huge. Florida Mayhem eliminates the tank immediately, and that's a nice block that Stellar is gonna need, man. BQB gets another one. Blase only takes out the Immortality Field with the self-destruct. Florida a little bit frozen up. Sayaplayer guarding, nice Maywall at the end to prevent some of the damage. Blase on the point, but he's frozen. They did take down Gargoyle. Boston's still fighting it out. Maybe they can get people there with the respawns. And Colorhex there with the Reaper, so they're not out of their fight just yet. Stellar down. Sayaplayer trying to solo carry. Colorhex gets one into Hagopan though, but BQB coming back. The DPS taking the wheel. Fake gets in on the action at the end, but it's gonna be Florida Mayhem full holding, not allowing a single tick for nearly 5 minutes against Boston. That is incredible.
Yeah, and thanks to Sayaplayer, a lot of that.
Maywall there, we swap over to Sayaplayer, and Boston Uprising trapped outside of the point. They're trying to defend. There goes Blase's mech, and there goes Blase, and now Sayaplayer right behind the Orisa. Fusions finally gets a kill onto Fate, but it's looking grim for Boston already. Fusion's down. Persia seems to be soon to follow. Kelix has the Immortality Field out to keep him up, but they gotta get on the point. It's only one tick needed for Florida, and they take it! Boston can't even get there. And you don't really, it's impossible to make it look easier than Florida did right there. 2-0 lead for them going into the half.
Looked like a disaster, Doa. That first attack by Boston, Florida got one elimination to Boston's 14. They just roar back through their own attack.
Looks a lot more confident, but there goes Colorhex again. They're going to drop the Ant Matrix, so to kill into Fate. Good. I mean, Florida Mayhem may not have been expecting that, and now we have a little bit more of an even fight. Boston Uprising even with the edge when you consider the respawns, but here comes the Dragon Strike. Can they keep fusions alive? They can't. Hagopan with the Zenyatta snipe at the end, and looks like Florida Mayhem going to keep holding for a bit longer. All right, Supercharger comes in. Hagopan immediately finds the kill onto Blase. Dragon Strike coming through the Florida Mayhem side, but everybody gonna live there. Meanwhile, Gargoyle, misses the hook, but he comes in with the whole hog. Transcendence, though, up from Persia. So Florida Mayhem struggling a little bit, and now Colorhex finds the kill onto Sayaplayer. Fusions does drop, and Florida Mayhem again finding the kill on the tank, and we'll see if they can turn it around to a fight. Looks like Chris about half health there. Florida Mayhem, and here we go. Blase, kill on the Gargoyle, and finally, the scales have been tipped in the Boston side, and they're gonna finally get the payload going, but man, it was about as close as it could be, deep into overtime for the Uprising.
However, Florida's coming in with their tanks.
Yep. That's the plan, here we go, Ant Matrix, but they're gonna pull Blase right through it. And Gargoyle ready with the whole hog too. Florida Mayhem, Immortality Field keeping people alive. Now the Blizzard comes in from the Boston side. Stellar trying to lock up the Florida Mayhem players. Persia, the hook misses. Could have been a big pick for Gargoyle. Instead, they're gonna lose Chris. Dragon Strike coming down from the high level there. Colorhex though finds two before he's finally taken out by Sayaplayer. That payload's gonna keep getting some distance here as soon as they deal with BQB. Defeat momentarily, there we go.
It's another
wall down, but it doesn't stop the payload.
It's another pop-off here by Colorhex, Doa, because he has 10 of his team's 15 final blows right now.
Amplification Matrix down again, and here comes a whole hog from Gargoyle, just trying to push people off of the payload. Can he get them off long enough for the overtime bar to tick down? It's so close, and they do it! Gargoyle putting that Roadhog ultimate to great use and just really preventing Boston from even getting back to the payload. Definitely one of the best Zenyatta's at finding those crucial picks just when his team needs them the most. Another kill on Diffusions, but here comes the Blizzard. Hogopin doesn't have his Transcendence, used it already, but that seems to be okay because like you just mentioned, no damage for Boston Uprising right now. There goes Persia and Stellar. This payload is going to be rolling quite shortly.
The wall timings in this meta and the wall positioning have to be good.
That's right, Hook denied, Hogopin down, Florida Mayhem trying to push it with the 5v6, but they're so close already. Maybe they can do it. Blase has the whole hog though, and they can just hide around the corner. Not worried about that. There's the freeze from the Blizzard. Oh no, and Kelix and Blase. Ooh, Blase coming close to dropping, but he doesn't. They turn it around. Blase drops in the end, but Boston Uprising seems like they can barely hold on here.
Might have to use the Amp Matrix for the same reason.
Perhaps. There's the Hulk, gets denied this time by the, it looks like, or no Diva rather, it looks like Fusion's a little bit low. They have to burn that Immortality field.
So, yeah, it's not there for the Dragon Strike now.
Could be a problem. Dragon Strike coming through. Supercharger down for Boston as they try to do a bit of extra damage. They drop the Blizzard right in the payload, and Blase walks forward with the whole hog and wholly eliminates 3 people from the fight. Florida Mayhem back to spawn again, and this time they only have 1 push left and no ults to use.
Blase caught the tanks in the jail.
Hogopin pops the Transcendence, getting onto the payload now. They've got a lot of pressure on Diffusions and they take him down. Boston Uprising on the ropes. Their season in jeopardy and they've lost a tank and a healer. Colorhack's trying to come back, but they focus him. They've taken out his health, they pushed him away, and he goes down. The last hope for Boston. Stellar eliminated as well, and despite the Blizzard, it's gonna be Florida Mayhem eventually taking this map and taking this series. Boston Uprising eliminated from playoff contention. Florida Mayhem will take the series, 1 map to go. For the moment, is Boston Uprising trying to win this fight before they go back and push. It's going to be the Transcendence coming in from Byram as they jump back onto Boston. The Blizzard not doing a whole lot for BQB, but he's going to follow it up with a right click on the Stellar anyway. Now Blase interrupted during the whole hog, and he goes down. Byram finishing blow there, and they are going to hold this payload right where it's at. Ultimates for Florida on the other side. Supercharger. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Saya player has to dodge it, gets the lunge out there. Zephyr, full hog through the Immortality field and then through the rest of Boston as they have to fall back. Yeah, that damage. Can anyone even reach the payload? They do at the very end, but Byram fragging out on the Zenyatta and Florida Mayhem. It's all cleanup. It's all elementary. A stronghold, nearly a full hold from Florida. And it looks like Monte Cristo, it's going to be a 4-0 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Colorhack still responding right away with a kill into Chris. Every time you think Boston's in trouble, Colorhack comes in to try to bail them out. Blows being traded here, and once again, this will favor the Florida Mayhem. And they'll finally get that payload moving as soon as they realize. There we go, that Kelix is back there. He's sneaky. Florida Mayhem pushing forward here. And that's a nice Blizzard, actually, from Stellar. Freezing a lot of people. Zephyr in trouble. He's going to go down, and Boston Uprising not ready to go quietly into this good night quite yet, as they're going to keep defending. They're on the payload now. There's the Dragon Strike Maywall. They can't approach the payload, and they can't go through the Dragon Strike. Boston Uprising split a bit. Yeah, they have to use the Transcendence. Persia identifying that is the only way they can get close, but now the Blizzard is on the payload. Fusion's in trouble. Immortality field goes down, and so does Fusion. And Florida Mayhem have found the ticket, if they can just finish this fight, to take the 4-0, and they've eliminated the tanks. That's step 1. And here's the amplification matrix now. Byram gets another one, and that is it. 4-0 for the Florida Mayhem.
And it was tough for Persia there because he had to decide whether he was going to use Transfer Dragon Strike or whether he's going to save it for the Blizzard. The Dragon Strike carved off Fusions.
I think he knew he needed to use it to get his team close to the payload. Yeah. I don't think that was a mistake from him, but
no.
Our player of the match by Omen by HP. It's going to be the one, the only. Who else could it be, possibly? But Saya player, that's right. Making the picks, making the plays, and getting the Omen by HP player of the match.
Yeah.
There you go.
When we talk about Fleta Deadlifts, we mean that you get 50% of your team's final blows.
Oh, how graphic.
As a winner on a map, and he almost did it on Hanamura. He was a couple Final blows off by the very end. It is
Oh no, look out!
extremely rare. It'd be only
Wow.
the 9th time it has happened on a map in Overwatch League history. But we didn't get it today, but Saya player was still spectacular, so he's got that going for him.
Those arrows were finding heads more often than not, and a great series for him.